Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Monday, November 25th at 2:52 p.m. Bear with me one second. I'm literally starting the stream and I'm asking you to bear with me one second, please. I'm going to change my networking around. Loading. Okay, good. I'm happy I didn't have to disconnect and reconnect, but here we go. Let's try and offer you guys something constructive on a Monday where it's, a little bit of weakness in the market, but we're opening strong with both macro strategy, micro strategy, and crypto fintech. What do I mean by this? One, two, and three. Let's start with micro strategy. Literally, um, the amount of Bitcoin that they've bought is wild, and that has significantly bolstered the price coming out of a weekend where it looked like things were going to retrace, a bounce off 100, and you get your dip from like 99 to 70, 75. And those are all reasonable numbers. Those are all Bitcoin corrections of historic proportions, except when you come into the market with a couple $1 billion over the weekend, you're putting a bid in the market. What's interesting is twofold. One, the size of the bid prevented a significant drawdown. We're literally at 94.8. And two, the amount of people that participated in the bid, it's remarkable. So the micro strategy effect is wild because it's drawing in a huge amount of capital, which is fascinating. So what's the I guess the desire is actually pretty obvious compared to Bitcoin spot. Just get, forward looking position on MicroStrategy, which is a beta on Bitcoin and is going to run multiples on top of Bitcoin, and you're getting a forward looking position on it. All right. That's wild. So it makes sense why these numbers are what they are. At least run it the other way. The numbers are what they are, and they're clearly that way for a reason. So the MicroStrategy effect is significantly supporting these markets heading into this week, which is interesting because the macro strategy tells us we're in an interesting potential position, falling back below 107 and move starting the week at 99. What does this mean? We have some bids. There's some bids in the long end of the US debt market. Look at these negative numbers on yields on the 10-year. We could start to see the move indicator roll over. Now, leads and lags, ladies and gentlemen. The move indicator rolls over is either leading or lagging, the dollar rolling over. But if the move indicator rolls over, that indicates there's a likelihood that the international market that's in the market for dollars can acquire their dollars not at FX rates. They could get a discount by going for credit, dollar liabilities via the Eurodollar banks, and that would take pressure off the DXY. So leads and lags. Which one leads, which one lags, it doesn't freaking matter. The point is, you see the DXY rolling over and the move rolling over, it likely means either one is going to roll over in the future or they're both rolling over simultaneously. And if they are both rolling over simultaneously, that's going to put a bid under all risk assets. So if you see moves starting to run towards 80 and the DXY breaking 106, 105.5, maybe ending the week at 105.5. I don't want to be too aggressive. I'm not going to say ending the week at 105, but damn, that would be crazy. See a big retrace in the DXY, and that's going to be a strong bid under risk. Curve with very nice price appreciation, smacking right into the 100 SMA on the weekly. Now, what's notable here is folks so myopically, very important word, understand these markets for what they are right now. Look at This business that has been around for 4 years and call it a dino coin. One, dino implying ancient. Two, coin implying what the fuck is a coin? An ICO? What are we talking? Pump that fun here, guys? No, we're talking about a $2 billion depository business that has $68 million worth of dollar liabilities and a full credit protocol, full stack, full stop, full stack, no shit. So this business smacking into the 100 SMA from the downside. Its time has come. That's nice to see. This is the second interaction with the 100 SMA in the history of the curve chart. Obviously, it's a relatively new asset, 4 years old, which is new. And it's a 4-year-old company with $2 billion in deposits. Damn. Okay, so when this gets on the other side of the 100, I think the story changes a little bit. The story changes a little bit further in a better direction. Now you got some momentum in your sales. Now you get the virality of the new people talking about it that don't have their biases, and that runs the number up, and that changes the tune of the older investors, of the people with their biases, and that runs the number up further. And before you know it, you're blowing past the 200 SMA, running past some levels. Once you get to these levels, then it's game on. This is all on the heels of AWA going live, cross curve. So the synergy here between AWA, Phantom, would be Sonic, Curve is quite fascinating. And the chain that AWA token's going live on is Linnea, not going live on a mainnet or even in Arbitrum or an Optimism is going live on Linnea. So this is pretty interesting. I don't have a full estimate. It's definitely voter escrow of some kind, which implies, historically speaking, dilution out the gate. So I don't have too much of a drive to be early. I'm to such a degree that I'm not thinking about it right now. Um, I'm more inclined to acquire Visa V, staked out book market V2. So the synergy there. So there's a triple synergy here. You got Sonic going live, you got AWA going live, you got Curve basically going ape shit from a price perspective and a product feature set perspective. And then to top it off, you got Vote Market V2, which is an insane user interface compared to the shit we've had to deal with over the last couple of years. I'm just like, everything that I need to operate what I've constructed as a business has literally just evolved in like the last month. I mean, clearly in the last year with CRV USD, but SCRV USD recently came online, and given 10+ million in deposits, it's going to significantly reduce interest rates, and that's going to drive the expansion of CRV USD depth. And Sonic coming online is going to drive the liquidity depth for AWA, which is going to facilitate cross-chain liquidity, and that runs on the Curve stack, which runs transaction fees through the Curve ecosystem. And all of this goes to VECRV, be it CRV USD revenues or AWA transaction fee revenues. Oh my God, everything is synergistic with each other. Everything affects everything. There's endless knock-on effects, and everything, all roads literally point to the most hated, that was once the most hated crypto asset of all, VECRV. And that's that. So I heard through the grapevine that something may be going on with Cleaver and Vote Market V2. So there's Whereas hints made on, I mean, let's see if we could find them. Uh, we could find them. Okay, could be two. Yay. Uh, see if I can find some of the commentary. Mm, where is that? Where was this post? This thread. So K-Mets obviously, you know, F of X protocol. Um, and that is the rotation curve, convex cleave. So cleave's got 24, correct me if I'm wrong, 24 VLCVX per VE cleave. So one cleave is worth 24 convex from a voting perspective. So that implies, if you go over to the chart, convex is at $3. So one cleave is at the intrinsic value of one cleave. Let's say 25 times 3 is 75, a little bit more. So one cleave, the intrinsic value at the current price of convex is $75 per cleave. And that's from like a boring voting perspective governance. So you're able to vote and drive a tremendous amount of convex voting weight. But what I'm more interested in is potentially cleave support. We don't know how. It just says beneficial, so some sort of points for votes, something similar to what Napier Finance was doing. I don't know. I don't know. Um, full vote supply coverage. So, we could speculate, but vote supply coverage, like, so how does stake DAO vote market V2 imply a capacity to rent Cleaver votes, which control 4.6 million vote locked convex, as a much more concentrated vote. In those votes, there's less than 200,000 Cleaver votes that control 4.6 million convex. So that is quite interesting to say the least, given that there's literally no Cleaver to be had. There's no volume, there's no supply. It's literally like 110,000 Cleaver available. And it's $6, $7. So what I say, the intrinsic value is $75. So this is like going over here to the analytics, and you get your intrinsic value of a convex, which is $5.25 based on the amount of curve racks it owns. So the intrinsic value of Cleaver based on the amount of convex that it controls is $75, and its current price is 7. So that is a 90% discount compared to intrinsic value. Now, these numbers only mean so much because the price going to $75 and its intrinsic value being $75 are two very separate things. But it is a notable piece of analytic data, which plays into why I took a clip and drove it up a little bit of money. I think I drove it up from like 550 to $7 because there's literally no liquidity. So makes it relatively scarce and hard to acquire. That's that. That's my 2 cents on the Curve ecosystem. We covered everything that's basically blowing my mind about current price action because it all roads lead back to the Curve price. I very much look forward to Wednesday's vote because as you can see here, you have, oh, are the votes in? Weekly reward. Here's your spell. Oh shit. 0014. Well, 019. Look at these numbers. Guys, we've been waiting a long time for these numbers to go up. And by you guys, I mean me especially. I've been patient. These are big numbers. And it's not, like 138 diluted, 9595 126. Cross curves cranking out 126, dropping 70 grand of pre-released AWA tokens. Our AWA is convertible to AWA on the TGE completion. Wow, 190019. That's a big number. I've been waiting for these numbers for quite some time. So very much looking forward to these markets continuing to strengthen because the macro data indicates they are going to strengthen, and the micro strategy data indicates that Michael Saylor is going to further strengthen these markets because as Bitcoin, as a collateral, increases in value and finally breaks 100,000, everything else is going to be supported and monetized. For some reason, DeFi Llama's full data set isn't available, but I noticed it's up. Oh, it was up another bit. It's gone down to 930 million. But look, we're at 101. I believe that's up another billion since I last said we were at 16 plus $billion for the month of November. The month of November is monetizing like I have never seen. I wish this data would come back online. I've been waiting a little bit. Let's see what they say. I llama. Or maybe it's just down for me. Can anyone confirm? I'll scroll to the bottom of the chat, but I think it's just maybe down for me. I would really like to see up to date data. You guys know the deal. Let me look on Discord if I'm missing anything. Era wanted me to talk about Cleaver. Hope that helps what I said, but that's a very old story. Intrinsic value. Big difference between intrinsic value and the real world actually manifesting intrinsic value. Um, we talked about AWA, cross-chain bridge, very congested. Obviously, Stargate is crazy, and there's a lot of bridges. I keep my bridges tab stacked. There's all the big ones. You got a cross, threshold for Bitcoin, Thor swap, Garden Finance, which is going through an upgrade process right now. So they got testnet, Rubik, which I don't use much because it has a bit of a premium attached to it. Here's your cross curve. Here's layer swap, which is really nice. I like layer swap very much. And then obviously, good old fashioned Stargate. Compare that to 2020 and 21. What a list in the bridges section. Absolutely wild. The amount of interest on DeFi.money is up to 28.85% again. Looks like folks are not necessarily wishing to pay interest rates, so they're pulling their S money. This still as much of an interesting protocol as I have originally thought. I continue to think $1.31 million of total money have been minted. Fair amount of collateral. And I just basically have some locked LPs at this point, and I am accumulating points. Veremos que los puntos, what they offer. We'll see what the points offer. But at this point, I'm happy to have a nice stack because it doesn't cost anything. And that's always a nice thing. Accumulate points. A couple of mil, like 10 mil, give or take. I don't think those are going to. You see, that doesn't translate to dollars. This thing needs to get off the ground, and you're still talking about market cap, and you got to get your initial offering. We got to see their tokenomics and what their TGE it looks like, and so don't conflate a very large point number with, oh, Captain's sitting on a shitload of points. Okay, we'll see what they're worth in the future. Speculative. Okay, don't get too excited. Anything else in the voting section? Warden's been slowing down a little bit. I think they're taking a back seat to what vote market has been doing. Is there any opportunities over here? Threshold Network has been very consistent with Warden use. Numbers aren't half bad. They're clearly keeping up with market trend. To see them back at 0.001 with a fair amount of votes. It's 1,050,000 votes over here at 0.001. That's nice to see. Anything else? Aura, always good to check on Aura. These are the things to vote on manually if you have a VL Aura position. These outpay any of the automated delegations quite meaningfully most of the time. Let's take a look over here. Savings curve. What are we paying? If it loads, 15.94%. Wow, that is nothing to complain about at all. I wish we had a wow up to 850. It's Monday. That's a nice clip. If VE curve keeps well, CRVUSD keeps contributing the amount of capital it is to the overall weekly revenue for VE curve holders, that is a significant structural change to the entire business operation of where the cash flow comes from. And in my opinion, that's an interesting thing, a constructive thing, and a good thing to see. Companies pivot all the time. Companies iterate, they evolve, and I like what I've seen with the entire evolution of Curve ecosystem. Frankly, I like the business development most recently. I mean, look, AWA, look at DeFi Now Money. These are all partnerships. Look at the long history um, with Phantom turning into Sonic. Why deploy on Sonic? Why did AWA go to Sonic for that kind of liquidity management? This is all shaping up very, very interestingly. Oh, look at that list. Uh, Nothing too interesting. 198,000, 2.8 mil. Huh. You want 200 grand. Anywho, maybe we'll see some more because these are large clips. That's about it. There's no other clips that I saw on the forum for Velodrome. So this is all that's available at the moment. Anything else? That's about it for a Monday. Let's go back to some technical data and maybe we'll speculate. Look at the numbers on Spell. So those numbers are up. If you go back over to voting, Abracadabra is one of the strongest. That's quite diluted. I think they got some configuration. How much did they put in? That's why. Excuse me, that's quite diluted. I haven't seen them at 76 million votes in a long time. I've seen them at like 30, 35 million votes. So this is literally 100% over diluted compared to what I've historically seen them at. But they are the most consistent vote renter aside from Threshold Network. And it turns out like Alchemix has been increasingly interested in L2s and Frax. Frax is obviously consistent, but they go to vote market. Well, I'm sorry, Vodium or convex votes, which should be interesting to see how that works out from a Cleaver perspective once Cleaver gets integrated into vote market, which is something that I think sounds reasonable. Is it going to be a direct applied incentive or just, I don't know. Folks have hinted that something's there. So the question is, what's there and what's the configuration? What's the opportunity? Is it going to be like 8%, 10% on your Cleaver? Well, that changes the equation for supply and demand on Cleaver, doesn't it? All right, let's go through commentary. Let's see if I can help you guys out a little bit on this crazy day. Mr. Barada, salute. Much a pleasure, as always. Sake, Good morning, Teddy. Good morning, Sir Joe present. George, good morning, Cap. DA advisor in the house. Andre teased us on launching a solidly V2. He did. He got equal with just rolled out V5. You got Shadow. Shadow Dex is another Dex that Sonic has been promoting. Or here, let's do it. What's the name of it? Sonic Labs, previously Phantom. Here, Sonic Linux links, Mock Finance. Well, what was this? This is the Ruby. No, they won bigger. They won the Emerald. Ruby, Ruby. Here, Sapphire. So AWA runs went one Sapphire. Beethoven, that's good to see. That's old school. There's the other one. Yeah, Shadow. Shadow on Sonic One Sapphire also. So here's another VE33, and this is called X33 instead of VE33. So we shall see, George, what the hell goes on at Sonic. Because if you didn't notice me pulling through or flipping through real quick, these boys are throwing around 200 mil in incentives to get the ball rolling on Sonic when it launches, like real quick, because it's in we're at the end of November, and I think he said like December 5th or something. That's pretty cool. Anywho, my eyes are on it because that's going to be interesting to say the least. Do you think there are any currently investable plays? Well, yeah, I think massively investable. I think the prices are starting to be at a premium. I mean, I wouldn't not I'm not. So when I think investable, what could I say? How could I answer? I'm not looking to invest at current prices. I was thinking about AWA, but then I'm like, I don't want something new. That's cool. If I farmed it, that's another story. I already have exposure to Curve ecosystem through the roof, so that's fine. So DeFi money, free. Points, points. Points are great. Points are free exposure. So that's cool. Didn't cost me anything. Woke up. Forward market V2 isn't really an investable type of thing. It's just making our investments pay better. Um, Velodrome. Um, Velodrome, but I wouldn't buy market. I wouldn't buy spot price. I'd get a fat discount. So what's available? A couple of smaller clips available. I don't know if I'd take 84. It's like a 15% discount. No, you're gonna sell an NFT. I get a 20% discount, so that's a big clip. It's $50,000. I mean, what's the point on? I mean, at 10%, you buy 40,000 Velo at the expense of 36,000 value Velo. All right, you get a little bonus, but someone's got to throw it up for a discount because look, this guy's throwing up 5.7 million Velo for a cost of $340,000. And this is just an interesting number too. A 31% discount. This is literally, sorry, this is yeah, 31 at 69. This is just a massive discount. This is a 42% discount. Massive. This isn't bad. 20% discount, 80 cents on the dollar. 608,000 Velo costs 488,000 spot. All right, that's fine. But these are big numbers. How many people can really swing around a quick 50 chip? So based on everything, my sentiment is I think Velo is widely misunderpriced. Widely, as in super chain narrative. Big, big narrative. and I think base is saturated for the time being. I want my data. Why is this not loading lately? But I have the last data that I was able to see, and base was negative $221 million. This was on Saturday night, and Ethereum is plus 16 billion, but optimism is plus 275 mil. I think the rotation is going to come out of base for a bit. I think base is slowing down. Plus, Airdrome is hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap. So I'm much more interested in Velodrome. Either buy things at a discount or don't buy them at all. That's one of the hardest things to stick to. So maybe that's investable if you could get a discount. See, investable does require the discount still. Everything else is at a premium. Curves at literally 100% premium from bottom. More bottom. You can say bottom is at 22. So 150% premium. Um, Maybe Bitcoin's at a disgusting premium, but that's another story. Massive, massive premium. Everything's gotten pretty expensive. Look, Convex is nicely off bottom at a buck 50 at 339. So that's gone. I don't know. What am I supposed to say from an investment standpoint? Had about 3 years to pick the shit that we wanted to own. Probably the only thing I can say. Hope that helps. Does your methodology value your current curve position as zero? Yes. Did you only buy the position for the rewards? Yes. My current portfolio valuation model says curve is worth zero, so it doesn't contribute to the balance sheet. So it has an unrealized, not only an unrealized gains or losses, which are kind of irrelevant, it has an unrealizable value. So that does play into accounting in some regard. Did you only buy the position for the rewards? Yeah, purchase, not a position. So the logic is if you buy like so Curve is not an investment. Curve is not a capital gains play. So now let's talk from a general public perspective. An average person throwing around $100, that's not an investment. That's a dart at a dartboard or something to gamble with. An investment is been in industry for the last 15 years and you've had a 401k and now you've rolled it over into an IRA and you've worked at three different companies and you've saved up 15 years, you've saved up 150 grand or something in industry, like graduated college, you've been in corporate, whatever. So maybe it's not 150, maybe it's 75 across two IRAs. Investments are taking a part of your investments and investing actual numbers. You're not necessarily too young. Younger folks can't necessarily invest. You can gamble, or you can start to build investments. Great way to build investments is to dollar cost average. I'm not going to digress too much, but from a why did I buy a position that I value at zero only for the rewards? If you take 100 grand and you get a 20% on it, you're making $20,000 a year. And if that position goes 10x on the money, it's now worth $1 million. Making 20%, it's making $200,000 a year. So you bought a position for $100,000 and when 10x on the money is pulling in $200,000 a year in revenue. 2x on basis, 200% on basis on a yearly basis. So that's why these are the most interesting investments on the planet. Hope that helps. Can I ask how much that earnings capacity costs you? Is it worth it? I think so. Rationality check. Uh, so it's a hard story to try and wrap your head around because we're going back to 2019, and I have to contemplate to myself how much capital I deployed in like Q4 2019. Hindsight is 2020. Could I have done things better? Of course. Did I do things well? Of course. Am I disappointed by some decisions? Yeah. But generally speaking, I'm quite satisfied because that's the humble guy in me saying, I did pretty damn good. Nothing to complain about. Greater than what I had in 2019. Less than all time high. I think I'm down 85% from all time high. Okay, that's okay. You need a methodology that is consistent, rigorous, and sustainable. And in 2028, if the portfolio is down 85% from all time high, but relative to 2019 Q4, we're at 1,000%. No more, 'cause we're already at 15x on the money. So 15x, let's say you're at 10,000%. So you're down bear market bottom in 2029. You're down 85% from all time high, and you're at 10,000% returns from 2019 highs. All right, so it takes a couple of cycles for these things to kick in. The multiples and the all time high is misleading. What's pertinent is the higher lows and the multiples that the higher lows will produce in a space that's monetizing. Why is it monetizing? Because this is real fintech. This is big business. And why does it explode to all-time highs that are absolutely disgusting, that are weird? Because people are irrational. Look at Pumped Out Fun. It's the stupidest thing in the world. Look at the meme coin space. It's gambling degeneracy. So it takes all the fintech with it. And then the fintech collapses. But it's still productive because businesses and enterprises are starting to use it around the world for cross-border settlement and foreign exchange and credit and derivative products. What are derivative products? They're shit that they sell the normies. What do you think you're a broker? You call a broker and like talking about a 401k. Those are derivative products. Anytime you hear about a boomer or a parent that's on the phone with a money manager, a broker, a financial advisor, they literally sell derivative products. That's what derivative products are. It's literally the old people way of doing money, that people that have no idea how to manage money. And grandma's on the phone with the broker, they're selling derivative products. Anyhow, just trying a little bit more, learn a little bit more, Captain Snoke. Always a pleasure. You've been around for a long time. This is your second cycle. Rationale, in my mind, that I come back to a lot is the same advice that I offer to younger persons: buy more assets over time and get them at the cheapest price possible. It's the simplest equation. So try and not buy at a premium. Try and buy at the cheapest price possible. Dollar cost average money instruments, which is predominantly Bitcoin in my opinion, but I guess Ethereum and Solana. Uh, Ethereum. I'm literally just Bitcoin right now. I told you guys I have a penchant for the Bitcoin maximalism with regard to money. Bitcoin is stable, so Ethereum I just use it for gas. And he's still got this whole Ether's money crowd, and that's cool. They'll probably outperform me, and that's cool. And Solana sure as hell will outperform me, and that's cool. I'm not going to chase it. What I want is a rigorous, strict, consistent set of operating procedures that I can follow and will follow. Bitcoin and dollars, and the rest are investments in fintech, FX, credit, and derivatives, with the subsections of dollar liabilities on top of credit and liquidity financing. And those are the businesses. Good morning, Cab. The market is screaming that we were right about DeFi. It's nice that the market is screaming it because we sure as hell have been screaming it for the whole time. Stop screaming it. Been quite consistent on our end. So that's nice that the market's like, oh, this is pretty cool. And we're like, yeah, we told you so. Good stuff, Diego. This is the fun time when we get the confirmation that we were right and everyone else was wrong. Pepsi, sup, y'all? Hope all is well, my friend. Joel, Cap, I don't hear you talk about XRP much. Do you have exposure there? Can you clear the air about market cap of XRP in terms of amount it would need to reach 150 per? Uh, I think that that number would be weird. Um, doesn't make much sense to me. I'm not too interested in the banks. I'm interested in banking products. I want to own a bank. I don't want a product that a bank is going to use. And personally, I think the banks want XRPL and not specifically XRP as a token. I think the banks benefit with XRP being cheaper, and that allows them to have much more of it. And the XRPL is great technology, and the products that Ripple Labs offers is great technology. I personally have no interest in the XRP token. I don't see any reason for it to monetize. I think the banks can do what they need with the XRPL as a messaging protocol. Literally, that's exactly what banks currently do with Swift. XRP, or Ripple rather, is working with Swift using XRPL tech, messaging technology. So that makes sense. I just don't see where XRP fits into it. And obviously, XRP Army will say, I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's okay. Everyone places their chips on the table, and maybe folks that own XRP will outperform me, and that's fine. I don't care. I'm not here to outperform anyone other than myself. And all I need is a 10x from cyclical bottoms to meet my expectations. And as long as I meet my expectations, I'm content and I can sleep well at night. And this is not a competition. Always remember you're competing against yourself, and the only person you need to beat is yourself. If you beat yourself, you're living up to your expectations and you're winning, and that's cool. You're comparing to other people, you're going to drive yourself nutty. Um, XRP pays nothing. So at some point, if you turn $1,000 into $100,000 and you want to spend money, you literally have to sell your XRP. It pays you no cash flow. There's no business. There's no cash flow. So it is a product that does not fit on a balance sheet other than as a cash, which is what I would rather treat Bitcoin as a cash. Makes more sense to me. So I hope that helps clarify my 2 cents on XRPL, which is great technology, XRP, which is a coin, and XR and Ripple products and services, which are quite profound and deeply integrated into major organizations and global, you know, tech products like Swift at this point. So there's very different things there, and they're all not the same. Hope that helps. Basket, what's up, Cap? Have any takes on Trump Treasury pick bet Besant? No, I do not. Um, I don't like politics too much. Everyone's always looking for attention, and just it's all just bickering. How the hell is Mitch McConnell still functioning? He's a zombie. Oh my god! I mean, like, what the fuck's going on? This is some serious like they shit. Like this is why I can't even look. I can't even watch politics. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? It literally is like, I don't. We are under control by aliens in human disguise. There's just these. There are they humans? The politicians? I don't know. There's just such a disconnect between who they are and what they do and how they get to be the leaders. There's nothing relatable. You understand? Like when you find like people idolize social media influencers. That seems stupid to me. I guess it's not a relatively new thing. But like, who do you idolize? Like, you idolize a sports figure because of their um, physical capacity or their statistics and winning streaks and their scorecard. Like, who do you idolize? Does anyone fucking idolize a politician for their skills, for their capacity and what they do or something? Most people don't even know who they are. There's such a disconnect there. So I can't stand politics. That shit's gross. Anywho, last couple of questions. We're going to wrap it up for today. I appreciate you guys on a Monday as we push back to 55. This thing gonna flip that 100, and ooh, that's nice to see. Nice to see a bottoming process. I bumped the bag 50% at 20 cents. Right about there. I had X amount of V curve, over the years, which depreciated significantly, not going to lie. But the money that was in 2019 turned into whatever in 2021. It's like 100x on the money. And that money rotated into being a curve position, which deflated. And now it's going to reinflate. And it was added at a discount. And now, as it reinflates, plus the added position goes up, the whole portfolio goes up. It's very hard to think in multi-year cycles. And I'm just old at this point. So it's like, all right, I'm ready. Bring on you know, every couple of years, you got a whole bunch of cash coming in. You save a stack, the whole system collapses and falls apart. You're sitting on the stack, and then you get to buy something cheap because everything starts at the bottom. This whole system has been that 4-year cycle that everyone's been hopefully observing over the last 14 years, 16 since 2008, but everything stabilized in like 2010 to 2012. Then it's been 4 years pretty predictably. So that's where we are on the doorstep of one heck, because this thing's going to break 100. Everything's going to go parabolic. Everything gets weird. Okay? What has been going on, has it not been weird for 2024? Has Solana, meme coins, and base meme coins, and earlier this year, it was Cosmos hubs and modularity. How was that not weird? But now you have the capital inflows. Now you have the potential for mainnet to have like a couple $100 billion and real monetization of investable businesses that actually produce revenue by offering fintech products and services. That changes the equation. That's when things get really weird. So I'll leave you on those thoughts. Stay calm, stay cool, stay collected, relax. The only bad decision is a decision made in haste that's frantic, that you're not prepared, that you're not methodical about. So that's the best advice I could possibly give. Relax. And look, 55. Come on, baby. Punch right through that 100. That'll be nice to see. Monday, November 25th at 3:41 p.m. 382 people made it to the end of the stream. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we are all now a little bit more rational together because of it. I will see you all later this week. I shoot for a Wednesday, worst case, a Friday. But in any regard, until then, be well, stay rational. Peace.